Chingus, it's your girl Kathleen, aka Kathleen, aka Sodin, and welcome back to another episode of Sodin Soapbox. Get into it, get into it. Here on Sodin Soapbox, we love to chat about all things love, life, and the plot twist that comes with both. What's up, fam? It's been a minute. How you doing? How you doing? Let's jump right on in, y'all. It has been a minute. First and foremost, welcome. If you are a new listener, what's up? Thank you for coming over and checking out your girl. Come on in, kick off your shoes, relax your feet, and grab you a drink, grab you some water, grab you some coffee, some tea. Matcha's my drink of choice, and kick it with your girl. If you are a returning listener, what's up, family? How you doing? How your mama and them? I just appreciate everybody, whether you are new or a returning listener, to just come in and kick it with your girl. It has been some time, y'all. And so we just gonna jump in, jump out, turn yourself about, child, and get right on into this episode, okay? I apologize that I had to cancel one of the episodes, child, but it has been a busy past couple of month and a half, child. I don't know. As my sister likes to say, time is a flat circle. So I don't even know where to begin. But let's just, like I said, jump right on in. So I think the last time I got to chat with y'all, I had just came back from California and celebrated my birthday, which was just an amazing experience. And it's crazy to think that that literally was not even but a month ago. And I was only home for about a week prepping and probably swapping out a couple things in my suitcase, but keeping it very close to the door, child, because I had yet another trip coming up. And sure enough, yeah, I probably washed some of my clothes, repacked my suitcase, and away we go. But y'all, I got to go to Hawaii. Hawaii, bruh. Like, just thinking about it, I'm sitting here recording this episode and take me back. Take me back. Also, I apologize if I sound a little bit stuffy because the weather has changed significantly. I feel like I'm coming down with something. And yeah, if you know me, my immune system is not necessarily the best. And so I'm doing everything I can to combat that. I am drinking my ginger teas. I am taking my multivitamins. I just bought some zinc because one of my friends said that they take zinc and vitamin C, and that tends to help them combat any type of cold and congestion, because what tends to happen is I am usually out the first quarter of the year because I will get sick, and first half of the year I just be out for the count. And I'm not trying to have that be how I start 2026. So if you believe in the healing power of Jesus, I ask that you touch and agree. Because baby, I'm not. I can't. But anyways, let's backtrack. Let us backtrack. If I sound stuffy, if I sound nasally, it's just because I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best to stay alive and just get through this. But yeah, we, as in me and my sister, we went to Hawaii, Kauai specifically, and we touched down. And when I say it was the most beautiful thing I have ever seen in my life. Obviously, you know, Hawaii has multiple islands, and each island offers like different vibes, has different energy. So Kauai is specifically the nature island. So you're surrounded by nothing but green, like trees, mountains, the water, everything. And I just was in complete awe. And yeah, we were staying at the specific resort because my sister had a conference there. So this was technically a work trip, and I just tagged along as a +1. And we were there a couple of days early so that like we could, well, at least for her, she could relax and enjoy herself, and we could take in Hawaii, and then she then could work, and I was just gonna do what I do best and sit by the pool, read me a little book, and sip me a little drinky drink and have me a good old time. So that's what happened. But yeah, we got there, had a nice hotel room with a balcony that overlooked the pool, and then you could see the mountains, and then you could see the ocean. And when I say in complete and utter awe, there is no words to describe the feeling you get when you step in Hawaii. Like, there is just nothing. If you could bottle that feeling up, you would definitely make it. It would be millions. But honestly, the thing is, Hawaii has always been on my list to go since I was a kid. I was always like, my sister and I, we do this thing called our 300s list, which was like a Steve Harvey concept. And basically what it is that at the end of every year, you make a list of 300 things that you're believing God for. And the more specific, the better. And the idea is not necessarily that all 300 things will come to pass by the end of the following year, but the idea is that even if 10% of the things are taken off that list, it just goes to show that like God will answer your prayers and your heart's desires. And so going to Hawaii, I think we started doing it in 2018, 2019, I think was the first time we heard about it. And so I think it'd been on my list since, about 2018, 2019-ish to go to Hawaii. And I mean, a bunch of like other countries. Like, if you know me, I'm about them passport stamps. I want to travel the world. I want to see the world. I just want to explore as much as possible. And so Hawaii had been on it for a while. And it's kind of like one of those things. It's like, oh, you hope you go, but you just never know if you're ever going to actually go. So the idea of being able to step foot in Hawaii and just like, it just was surreal. It just was absolutely surreal. And, waking up and seeing the sunrise and even without seeing the sunrise, if you're familiar with the movie Moana, Hey was waking us up every morning around 7:30, 8 a.m. Okay. And also I realized that roosters don't just crow when the sun comes up, they crow at all points of the day. And so that was a rude awakening because I was just like, the sun is already up. Why is he still cock-a-doodle-dooling? And apparently it has to do with like them marking their territory, their circadian rhythm, just a bunch of other reasons why they do it. And I was just like, okay, hey, we get it. We're up. Like, what's going on? I will say that felt very Haiti coded because I remember when we went to Haiti, Hey and his little family was waking us up as well. But yeah, I remember just like getting up early, which if you know me again, I'm not a morning person. I'm very much a night owl. So getting up early, like 8:30, getting breakfast, sitting out on the balcony and just taking in the morning and doing my devotions and doing my prayers and doing my worship just out on the balcony and just being present. I think like that's just what Hawaii taught me, was to obviously slow down because ain't nobody in a rush to go nowhere. Ain't nobody in a rush to do nothing, go nowhere. So it's just like you're forced to slow down, be present, take your environment in, speak to people. Just everything about it was just a reset for me. And because of that, I was like, I'm not really gonna be on my phone like that. I didn't really do social media too much. I just text a couple friends just to show them pictures of different things, like the ocean, the mountains. I got to experience a luau. So many people who were at the resort were like, hearing their different stories. Like some people lived in Hawaii and like lived on different islands in Hawaii. Some people like they were bi-coastal, so they had a home in the like California or New York or other states, and then they'll spend half their time there, another half in Hawaii and things like that. And I remember my sister asking me like, oh, would I ever live in Hawaii? And I could easily see myself living there, but in respect for the natives, I never would. Because I understand how much harm is done to Hawaii and the natives there, because it's like you're creating such disparity in the economy and everything is obviously uber expensive because they're having to import things from stateside or from the mainlands essentially to the islands, and a lot of people aren't supporting local businesses. And so I just know like there's just a lot of controversy in it all that I wouldn't feel right buying property and living in Hawaii. But the moment I was in Kauai, I was like, oh, I get the appeal. of wanting to move there. But I don't have that, colonizer spirit in me to do that I just I couldn't, like, the only way I would move there is if like I married someone who was a local or a native, but I was like I couldn't do it. But other than that, it just I have no other way to describe it. It just was the best week ever. And we were supposed to do like a Nepali boat tour where we were supposed to like see, dolphins and whales, and just like the Jurassic Park's film was done there. So like we were going to be able to take a boat tour around like where they filmed it and all of that. But that ended up getting canceled because the time we were there, like the waters were choppy and it was raining on and off. So they ended up canceling it just to be on the safe side. And so I was like, dang, am I going to be bored sitting here for a week, like not really going anywhere? And it's just like, girl, when I tell you, it was the best 7 days of my life, like doing absolutely nothing but eating my fill, drinking my fill. I literally just sat by the pool or sat on the balcony and just read. I got to meet some of my sister's colleagues in the industry. And so we were just talking and chatting and just having a good time. That it was such a vibe. It was such a vibe. And I'm like, yeah, I have to come back here. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I have to come back here. I have to bring my friends back. We have to do, I don't care if it's a girls' trip, a couple's trip, a family vacation, something. I have to come back here. Like, this can't be a one and done. Like, I'm thankful and grateful that I was able to do the one, but I need to come back here. Everybody in staff was super sweet, super kind. Like, they were, like, when I say overly helpful, it just, yeah, the energy was just magnificent. 10 out of 10, I recommend. Yes, I want to explore the other islands. Like, I want to see Honolulu. I'd love to see, Maui and all of that. But Kauai, though, I think Kauai definitely just completely took my breath away. And I think next time I would rent a car so that I can like fully explore the island and just really get like my fill, because like I was seeing things on TikTok about like different places to go eat and different like beaches to explore, because there's like one beach where like you see the turtles come up to the shore and you're able to like pet them or like take pictures and this and the third. But I was like, yeah, I think next time I'm definitely renting a car and we're just driving around to explore. But again, even in my opinion, if you just stay at a resort and you don't leave the resort, especially the one that we went to, I can't remember the name of it right now, but the one that we went to, like they had a koi pond so you could see all the koi fish and then you could feed the koi fish. There was yoga classes, there were ukulele classes, there was dance classes, and I think they were even teaching like surfing classes. So there was just like a lot of things going on just on the resort itself. So like if you never left, but yeah. And naturally didn't want to leave, and I was concerned with like the weather difference. I was like, if I come back and it's cold, I'm gonna be so heated. But luckily I think we came back and it was like still in the 70s, maybe like the low 80s, whereas like our friends who had to go back to New York, it was like snowing. And I was like, yeah, when I say the level of pissed I'd be to leave Hawaii and go back to New York and be met with snow, no. So then shortly after that, came home again for a short period of time to try to reset, because we had made the decision to spend Thanksgiving at my best friend's house. And yeah, that was the week I was supposed to record another podcast and send it out. But I could literally feel the fatigue. And I'm trying to be really intentional of paying attention to my body when it's like, hey, slow down. Rest, like let's take a beat, because I recognize like me trying to push to like put a podcast out, and then they had asked me to come into work and I had some other stuff to do. Oh, and then we had doctor's appointments that week and my sister had a hair appointment. And so I realized, I'm like, do I really want to add more work to my plate when I just got back? And the answer was no. Because yeah, recording the podcast is easy to some extent. I won't say fully, because sometimes I'm like, I need to, map out what I'm going to talk about, plan it, all the things. But it's like having to map out the topics and what I'm going to talk about, record, and then to turn around and have to edit, I knew that that was just going to take a lot of energy and effort that, if I was honest with myself, I did not have it. And I'm really learning like bandwidth capacity and bandwidth management, because I'm like, I could easily say I have the capacity to do it, but do I have the bandwidth? And the answer is no. And I need to be honest with myself and be like, do you have the bandwidth to do this? And the answer is no. Because even, for example, on that Sunday we came back, our church was doing like its Christmas party. They call it the Volleys, because the idea is that like all the volunteers, you get dressed up for the Christmas party, you get different awards, there are prizes, this and the third. We went last year and it was so much fun. It was great. And we were on the fence about whether we were going to go this year. And I was like, oh man, we've been like really active in the church. I said, we might actually get an award this year, all the things. And now that we know what to expect, like, we know we can like go a little early. Cause like last year we didn't think it was that big of a deal. And we showed up like, I don't want to say late, but we basically showed up like at the time it was supposed to start. And everybody named Mama was already there in their seats and half the food was gone. And so I was like, dang, like, okay. So I think like we would have had a different game plan this year had we gone. But I was like, the reality is, I don't think I have it in me to be peopling. I don't think I have it in me to be social. And I think the both of us were just like, yeah, we're going to church. We'll catch up with everybody, because we hadn't been in church again for like over a month and a half. So people were like excited to see us, asking us about California and Hawaii. So we got to like chop it up with them. And they were like, oh, are you going to be at the Volleys? And it was like, yeah, no, like, I don't think we have the bandwidth to be there. Like, if we showed up, it would be more or less like the people pleaser in us showing up, because it's like, oh, like everybody knows us, everybody sees us. Like, if I think I've said this before, but like we volunteer as like greeters at the door. I'm part of Next Move, which is basically a ministry that if you're a new member of the church, or maybe you've been going to church for a while and you finally decide like you want to get plugged in, it's basically like a luncheon that we set up for you, and all the different leaderships, all the different leaders sit down and they talk to you about the different ministries, the different teams, the different organizations. And the idea is that like what feels like a big church ends up feeling small, because there's different ministries and organizations that you can plug yourself into. So it goes from like being a big church to your church home to a church family. And so I do that, which is like once a month. And then my sister does kids ministry. And we like help in other areas where like necessary. So I'm like, we do a lot. And so I think the idea was like, oh, as we're both known as the sisters will be there. It's like, child, the sisters are taking a respite, okay? So yeah, that's what ended up happening. But I'm just really learning that as much as I want to say yes to certain things, I have to really ask myself, do I have the bandwidth to do this? And if I can't give a complete yes without hesitation, then just, hey, I'm gonna have to skip this one. Y'all catch me on the next one type of thing. So yeah, that was like basically what happened that week. And then only to turn around, like I said, and then Thanksgiving came. Which, how was y'all Thanksgiving, by the way? I know I've been ranting and raving, but how was y'all Thanksgiving? Or, happy National Indigenous Peoples Day, because, we know about the colonizers. But yeah, how was y'all Turkey Day? My Turkey Day was good. Like I said, I ended up going to spend time with my best friend, because she just had her baby, and he is just cute as a button. Oh my freaking God. When I say cute, he's just, oh my God. So it just was nice getting to spend time with my best friend, her husband. His dad was there. His aunt was there. They cooked Thanksgiving. I showed up there with Hawaiian rolls and wine. Okay. That was my contribution to Thanksgiving dinner, because it was nice to not have to cook. And I don't cook every Thanksgiving. It usually just depends on the circumstances. I think last Thanksgiving, I cooked the sides. I didn't cook like the turkey and some other dishes. I think we just ordered, which tends to be my thing anyway. Like I can cook a full Thanksgiving dinner, but I'm gonna be honest, putting that much pressure on one person to do is a lot, but that's neither here nor there. But normally if I contribute anything, I'm from the North, so we call it stuffing, okay? Don't beat me up. I know some of y'all be like dressing, stuffing, whatever. Listen, call it what you want. We call it stuffing, but I usually make my mom's recipe of stuffing, and I remixed her recipe, and I add some seafood to it. We have a version that does have seafood and a version that does not. But I think the seafood in the stuffing is usually just crab meat. And then we have our mac and cheese, which again, we have a regular mac and cheese. And then I just took my mom's recipe and I added seafood to it because I figured out a lobster mac and cheese recipe. So I added lobster and shrimp to the mac and cheese. Again, I know not everybody loves seafood. Not everybody cares for seafood. So it is what it is, but I've made that, and we make a green bean casserole because that's like my dad's favorite dish. So I've made that, made a sweet potato casserole before. And yeah, like, I mean, I'm used to making like the sides. I think when I was in Korea, because they don't have turkeys, I've just made a whole chicken. I think it's been a while since I don't think I've ever made a full turkey though. Now that I'm thinking about it. I think I made half a turkey, like a turkey breast or like turkey breast, drumstick, and a wing. I don't think I've ever cooked a full turkey, but I digress. The fact of the matter is, in my household, to be honest, the only person who cares for turkey is me and my mom. My dad and my sister prefer ham, so we usually have one turkey and one ham at the table, and then there's a special dish of lamb. I know, I'm Bougetto, and I don't care. So my mom and I will have lamb on the side. It's just for the two of us, and because nobody else will eat that but the two of us. And then we have like a bunch of sides that are just for everybody. So the green bean casserole is for my dad. We have a sweet potato casserole that's for me and my sister. We have the ham is for my sister and my dad. The turkey's for me and my mom. We're Haitian, so there's always, as y'all know, it is the black rice, but it's ji donjon, which is basically like a black mushroom rice. So that's usually at the table. Like I said, we have the mac and cheese, we have the stuffing. Child, I know there's something else I'm missing. I'm missing something, but I can't think of it. Either way, it has been some time since I've made Thanksgiving dinner, just because I have not been home in a while. But yeah, so I digress. Actually, now that I think about it, I need to figure out how to make the Haitian New Year's Eve soup this year. I haven't made it. I've actually never made. Sorry, my brain, y'all. Y'all just gonna have to ride with me. So I've said this before, but obviously being Haitian, January 1st is Haitian Independence Day. And we have a special soup called soup jumu, which is a pumpkin squash soup. Some people use it with pumpkin, some people use it with squash. Traditionally, it is supposed to be made with pumpkin because the French did not allow us to eat that. So we basically, as a big FU to them, on the 1st of January, we made a soup. And I have actually never made the soup because most of the time I've been home and my mom has either made it or my grandmother has made it or someone else has always made it. I think I actually want to try and make it this year. The only thing is that Haitians will eat it for the entire first week of January, sometimes even 2, and that's when it gets OD for me. But I think I want to make enough just for me and my sister so we can have it at least for the day. I do not care to have leftovers, so I think I need to call my mom and get the recipe now so I can start working on it. Sorry, it just, talking about Thanksgiving, that idea just came to mind. Anyways, so yeah, went to my best friend's house for Thanksgiving, and if you can't tell, I have ADHD, so y'all are just following my train of thought as it comes. But yeah, got to have Thanksgiving with her. We played a couple board games, some board games, child, I had never heard. Don't ask me what the names are, but they do like game nights with their young adults ministry. So we got to play a couple board games with them. Like one of them was called like Dutch Blitz or something like that. Like, child, I don't know. And then one of them was called Betrayal. Yeah, one of them was called like Betrayal. Child, again, don't get me to lying about these games. So it was just a fun time. And I just got to be with the baby and just help her. Because honestly, being a mom with 2 under 2, I salute y'all. And I understand wholeheartedly when they say it takes a village, because having to navigate to like a baby, a newborn essentially, and a toddler, because her firstborn will turn 2 in January, it's not an easy feat. So I just was glad to just come in and help wherever necessary. I was like, I will take him from you so like you can eat or you can pump or if you need to take a shower and brush your teeth and do your hair so you can feel like a real person again, like it's nothing to me. Cause like I can't imagine like not being able to do that, because it's like you're having to pump, you're having to feed him every 2 hours. Then you have a very, your toddler who wants to play, who wants to be active, who wants to do this, that, and the third. And it's just, honestly, it's a lot. And she handles it with such grace. And I be telling her all the time, she is such a good mom. She is such a good mom. Just even how like she talks to them and how like she navigates motherhood. I'm like, I need you to know like you're a great mom. But anyways, it just was nice to just be able to offer her some extra hands to help. And then the next day, her husband's aunt made gumbo. Oh my God. I have not been able to stop talking about this gumbo. I should have known it was good when she pulled out real collard green. Not that frozen stuff, like actual leaf. And she was like breaking it off in the sink. I said, oh, when I tell you, and it had actual crab legs in there. She had actual crab legs, then she had imitation crab, then she had crawfish in there, and then she had shrimp in there, and she had andouille sausage, and then it just was, oh my God. I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about it to this day. I probably had 2 bowls the day she made it, and then the next day, because there was leftovers, I had probably 2 more bowls. I had I had to ask her. I said, "Are you coming back for Christmas? Because I will literally come back." And she was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Y'all were so much fun." And not only that, she was a bartender at a casino, and so she was making us drinks, and I was like, "Oh my God. Oh my God." Just the sweetest thing from Mississippi. I said, "Oh my God. If you come up here for Christmas, I need to be here for Christmas." I said, "I don't care what holiday it is. If you come up here, I need to be here." That's the bottom line. When you come up here, I need to be here. Cause when I say she put her foot in that, oh my God. I it was everything. So yeah, needless to say, I can't stop thinking about that gumbo because it was probably the best thing I've ever had in my life. But yeah, so we just had a good old time. And then I just got to bond with the baby. I do have baby fever now, but I need husband fever first. So I'm just like, God, hurry up and send me my husband because I don't want to have a baby before the husband. But I officially have baby fever. I've had baby fever for a while, but yeah. But at the same time, the fact that I have baby fever, I did learn a lot from being with her about being a parent and just watching her and her husband navigate parenthood between the two of them and like the 2 kids, and like seeing her husband, take the baby and change him, and just being a husband, like not babysitting, not, none of that, just like being an active parent. And taking the older one for bath time and reading her story and putting her to bed, or like doing laundry and washing the dishes, and just like their partnership, and just like how much easier I could see parenthood being, and even marriage, with the way that they just move around each other in a way that's like, okay, I'll do this, and so you do that. And it's just unspoken. Like, even in the way that they look at each other, you could tell that they're communicating. And I'm just like, y'all make me sick. Y'all make me absolutely sick. But I love them. And I think in watching them be like parents again and navigate this, going from a family of 3 to a family of 4, just like, it just changed my brain chemistry. And I'm like, yeah, I told her, I was like, girl, if you need my help, I don't care if it's just to clean your kitchen. Like, I will drive down there to show up. And because again, I know she would do the same for me. And I think it's about community. It's about a village. And as much as like society is like, oh, you got to do everything by yourself, it's like, we're not meant to. Like, we're not meant to give life in terms of like having kids and having families and raising them by ourselves in like this isolated way. It's like there's supposed to be people around you who help you to navigate this, who is like, hey, I'm gonna take the baby while you pump and take a shower, and then you can take the baby to like, bond and do all the things. So it's just like, yeah, it just was like a really great time. And I always enjoy having, spending time with my bestie anyway. So I'm never gonna be like, oh man. But it just was, there's not a time that I've walked away from like hanging out with them that I don't learn more about myself and learn more about like what I want in my marriage, what I want in my family, what I want in my life. And just like, I don't know, it just, it's 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 just, myself as being a mom and being a parent. So yeah, it just was like a very healthy learning experience, I guess. Like I never feel like I walk away from like hanging out with them without certain jewels or gems that I've just like, clocked in the back of my head. But child, got down there. We was doing good with the weather. We was getting 60s, 70s, and then all of a sudden it want to drop to the 20s and 30s. And now, without any warning, seasonal depression has cocked its ugly behind into my house, sat at the edge of my bed talking about something. How you doing, girl? Get out. Get out of here. What do you like? It's too early. Why are you here? Like, I am so upset. I thought I had more time. Like, I'm trying to prep myself and like put things into place so that seasonal depression does not kick my butt. And, as Drake's album says, if you're reading this, it's too late. I am too late. Seasonal depression is here. I took a nap yesterday. What was supposed to be a 30-minute nap ended up being 3 hours. And because I took a nap for 3 hours, your girl was up till 3:45 in the morning yesterday, watching a documentary about people being brainwashed into cults. like, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. And I just thought I had more time. Like, I haven't put my Christmas decorations up, and I love Christmas. I love Christmas. The decor was supposed to be up before Thanksgiving, but again, I could feel myself getting burned out. So I was like, I'll wait till after Thanksgiving because my sister hates when I put the Christmas decoration up early. So I was like, fine, I'll put it up when we get back. I haven't put up the decorations up because seasonal depression is kicking my behind. But it's a catch-22 because I know if I put the decorations up, it'll make me feel better. So I'm like, great, I gotta put the decorations up this weekend. And then it's like, I have me some diamond painting that I bought. I know if I work on that, that'll help with my mental health. My sister and I bought walking pads. So it's like, just doing gentle workouts, that should be enough. I need to get into stretching regularly. Just like, not necessarily overloading myself, but just doing small, gentle things to just be like, okay, let's move our bodies. Let's find a hobby or activity that doesn't require too much thinking, that's fun and that's enjoyable. I don't have much energy to eat. So I'm like, let's find meals that don't require too much thought process behind it because you can't starve for the winter. So it's like, let's find some really easy recipes, some soups, some, I don't know, whatever, to try to at least eat healthy, but also it's just very comfortable and very, very soothing. And so, yeah, I am struggling, and it's only been, I want to say 5 days that the weather has dropped the way that it is. Even like, I have to work this week, and I'm just like, what am I going to wear so I'm not freezing to death? And I'm not angry as I get in my car to go to work. And the thing is, I have a really great job. I love my job. I don't have any complaints. My only complaint is having to get up at the butt crack of dawn and it's freezing. And I got to figure out how many layers can I put on so I don't feel the cold air smacking me in my face. Because the hoe is always cold. I hate it. And I just want to go back to Hawaii. That's all I want to do. This is literally just like, I want to go to Hawaii and I pray to God that he makes me wealthy, not because I want to flex on niggas and buy stupid crap. I want to be wealthy so that when it gets cold like this, I can get on a flight and go somewhere warm and I'll see y'all niggas when spring decides to show up. If that. Like, that's my main reason for wanting to be wealthy, is so that the moment the weather dips even the slightest, I'm on the first flight to a Caribbean island. And then the moment it gets a little too hot for my liking, I can come back to the States. Or I can just go somewhere else where their summers aren't sweltering. But I am not built for the cold. And yes, I know, my birthday's in October. But the past, like since moving to like Oklahoma, my birthdays have been relatively warm. And that's probably a first. So to be honest, I have still experienced fall weather during my birthday, when most of the time I never experienced fall. I always just experienced winter during my birthday. So these past couple of years is the first time I've experienced fall. But baby, I am not built for the cold. Y'all people who be complaining about the summer, talking about some I can't wait for fall because I want to do the new outfits, y'all are lying because fall be all of 2 seconds. And y'all know we don't get fall for real. We get fall for all of 2 seconds and it goes straight into winter. And then spring be winter on a diet because you don't know what to wear during the spring season. And then here comes summer doing the most. We can't win for losing anyway. But the fact of the matter is, I hate the winter. I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to speak to nobody. I just want to lay in my bed and just hibernate like a bear. And so I'm asking y'all if y'all want these podcast episodes to please pray for me because the way I'm feeling, y'all not finna get nothing for this. Y'all not finna get nothing for the winter because I'm gonna be too stuck in my bed to want to move. The seasonal depression hit me early and I don't know what I'm finna do. So on that note, I'm gonna wrap up this episode. So today's episode obviously was just me giving y'all the rundown of what the past couple of months is. I'd really love to know how was your turkey day? You know, we are in the last month of the year, child. What are your Christmas plans? What are you looking forward to in 2026? I'm going to do obviously another episode unless I freeze to death. What are y'all looking forward to 2026? I am going to try to do an episode. I don't know, something reflective of 2025. I can't think right now cuz the cold is just thinking about how cold it's going to be when I go to work tomorrow. It already has me sad and gloomy right now. But yeah, just thinking about the holidays. I know the holidays isn't joyful for everybody, and I understand that, and I definitely want to hold space for that. I just want to have a conversation about what you're looking forward to in 2026, if you're looking forward to anything, or if you're feeling nihilistic, we can hold space for that as well. You know, sometimes feeling a bit ennui, sometimes that's how it be. But yeah, let me know how your turkey day was. What are your plans for Christmas? Do you have any New Year's plans? What are you looking forward to 2026? Yeah, I think that's I'm just curious what your thoughts are on that. If you don't already know, I did launch Sex in Context, which is my sexology business. There's a whole Instagram page and we also have a Substack. So make sure you are subscribed to that. We just dropped a recent newsletter this week. So you might want to make sure you're caught up with that. I'm trying to make sure I'm a lot more consistent with that. I be too much in my head about content and what I'm going to post and what I'm going to say, especially because I'm dealing with sex and people's sexuality and the shame and silence that the church has and guilt that the church has thrown at us. And I think a lot of that times it causes me to freeze in what I could say. So I'm trying to be more consistent in my content, but make sure you're checking me out on all platforms. So if you're on Instagram, check out this podcast's IG, which is Sodian's Soapbox. That is SORINS_SOAPBOX. And then also check out my sexology page, which is Sex in Context. That's SEXINCONTEXT. Make sure you check those out, and make sure you also check out the Substack, which will be in the link in the bio. And I'll also make sure there's a link in the description box of this episode. Please sign up for the newsletter. Please check out my content. Please like, share, and subscribe. And wherever you're listening, make sure you rate the podcast because what are you doing? Make sure you give me 5 stars because I'm a 5-star chick, a 5-star meal here. This is a Michelin star podcast, okay? Anyways, I love you for real. Thank you so much for kicking it with your girl. And until next time, your girl is off her soapbox. See ya.